Hi, I am Andrew Au, a positive psychology trainer from Malaysia who aspires to continuously develop people and improve lives with positive psychology. Now please bear with me as I read from my script. Well, this video was made in response to a news article published in The Star today that 44% of Malaysians say that their mental wellness is affected during this pandemic. You can click on the link below to read the full report. Well, since March, our country has gone into different stages of MCOs, which was last extended to the 31st of December this year, known as the RMCO. However, due to recent increase of cases, targeted parts of the country are experiencing a full lockdown. The situation is not to be taken lightly, as I have heard from my own circle of friends on how dismal their situations are. One flight attendant had to leave her job because as a foreigner, the conditions in the airline company was too harsh to bear. A business owner is on the verge of closing her business because of the challenge of breaking even during this period, coupled with managing her staff well-being and morale. A few of my friends have also highlighted that working from home is becoming more stressful, given that this is the second time they are facing this since the recent increases of cases in the country. Well, if we were still in the beginning of this pandemic, I think it is easier to find that glimmer of hope and anticipate better days ahead. In the initial stages, it would be easy for me to say, look on the bright side, things will be all right. Or, every cloud has a silver lining. Or, learn to be grateful that we are still alive. Or, count your blessings rather than losses. Well, do this still work? The situation that we are in seems to have affected the whole of 2020 and is not slowing down anytime soon. As such, the repeated exposure to stress and the real issues that we face every day is slowly sapping away any positivity we have left in our tanks. And I believe that many of us are already digging into our mental reserves to find that tinge of optimism. So, how do we face the wolf that is crouching at our door every day since March and is still there until God knows when? Here are some suggestions from me for facing an extended period of stress. First, identify what is causing you stress and start working on it. Before I tell you more, do remember that it is not the event or situation, for example, the pandemic that we are in right now, that is causing you stress. It is how we perceive and respond to the situation or event that causes us stress. So, we need to identify why the pandemic and the situations that we are in is stressful to us and work out ways to solve the problem. Although there are methods to help you to identify your stresses, many of us already know in our minds what causes us stress. Well, I have been struggling with working at home with my kids around, and more so after I temporarily stopped my 5-year-old from attending Tadika. So my biggest stress is finding time to work while having my family in tow. This is extremely stressful for me because every minute I spend with my family, I neglect my work, and every time I spend on my work, I neglect my family. This is especially difficult because when my office and my house are under the same roof. So what I'm trying to do now is to have a fixed schedule for doing things at home I wake up at 5 and spend the first hours in the morning meditating, reading, exercising, and working. When my children are up, we spend time having breakfast and some leisure. Then I help my elder one with his revision and homework. Then in the afternoon, I would continue to work when my children are taken care of by my parents until after dinner. At night, we will be spending time together as a family to unwind and rest for the day. I wasn't satisfied with my work and family life at the beginning of the pandemic, and have gradually changed the way I work and how my family is taken care of as this situation continued. Another stressful situation is a reduction from my main source of income from conducting corporate training. So I'm trying to diversify into online training and learning platforms. Well, you may or may not have a similar situation like me. The point is to start taking action and change your situation to one that suits you and the people you value most. We need to manage our stress before it manages us. The longer we leave ourselves stressful, the worse it becomes. And it can ultimately lead to depression and most unwantedly, suicide. Number 2, accept that you can't overcome this alone. So, start to reach out. We have within ourselves resources to overcome challenges. As a human race, we are evolutionarily capable of adapting to new situations and surviving threats. However, as mentioned earlier, we are already at the last drops in our positivity tank, and we are functioning with our much depleted resources since March. Hence, we must accept that we can't overcome this alone, and I urge you to start reaching out. Be it finance, career, family, or kids, it is time to reach out for help if necessary. As a human race, we are also a species that thrive in groups and communities. We need each other to survive. Hence, this is not a time to be afraid, to be shy or embarrassed to ask for help, because we really need help. During this period, I have sought the help of my parents, in-laws, and friends. When I needed support with my family and work, I've even had one-to-one yam cha and formal coaching sessions with my close friends to check on our mental well-being. As a family, my siblings and I also maintain a WhatsApp group where we constantly share our struggles and take turns encouraging each other whenever any one of us are facing problems. Again, your situation may or may not be like mine, but the point is to start reaching out already if you hadn't. The burden is much lighter when we carry it together. The third is to be aware of our thoughts and kick out the bad ones. Our result depends on our action, and our action depends on our mindset. Our mindset depends on our belief, and our belief depends on our thought. As the saying goes, all roads lead to Rome. Similarly, all results in our lives lead to our thoughts. In this pandemic, especially this extended one, we need to be cruel to our negative and bad thoughts and be nice to our good and positive thoughts. It is like the battle between the angel and the devil within our heads. Every time the devil comes knocking at our door, we want to shut him out. For example, "You will never make it through this pandemic. Away from me, devil. I don't want to listen to you. Come and lay for a while more. You don't have to wake up so early. Go away, devil. I don't want to see you." Working from home is no fun lah. So boring. Get out, devil. I am not entertaining you. Do note that if we ever entertain the devil, in this case, your negative or bad thought, it will bring us or bring you down a spiral into the point of no return. In this case, stress, depression, and worst, suicide. Entertain the angel instead. Come, let us see how we can make work from home more fun to do. Let's plan how we can spend quality time with the family and children. I know it's difficult, but let's see what else can be done. Can you see how different a life filled with positive thoughts can be? As mentioned earlier, our thoughts will eventually lead to our results. So, do you want positive or negative results in your life? Take action now. Now, you may say, yes, I've identified my stress and work on it. I have accepted that I can't overcome this, and I have reached out for help. And I am aware of my thoughts, and I'm regularly kicking out the bad ones. So will the pandemic end? Let me ask you a question. Is it important whether the pandemic will end or not? I believe it is not important. What is important is to not let the pandemic end you and the dreams of the people who you are working hard for. And by this, I don't mean your boss, your organization, or your colleagues. Who are we working so hard and to survive each day for is our parents, our spouses, our children, and even ourselves. People who are most valuable in our lives. So, if we give up now, we are actually giving up our loved ones because they are the ones most dear to our hearts. So, dear friends, do believe that better days will be ahead if we press on. Know what and who is most important to you now and give yourself and your loved ones a chance for a better tomorrow, regardless of the situation that we are in now. So if you're really stressed out now, I encourage you to identify your stress and work on it. Reach out for help if you want to, and monitor and take control of your thoughts. And never give up, because what you do or do not do has a larger effect than only yourself. So take care, be well, and be blessed.